live on stage. The sound.
Orlando.
So, is they ready?
Yes.
The sound.
Orlando.
What's good? What is going on, party people, man? It is Friday night. This is the Soul Show with your boy Rome, live and direct, representing the city of the Old Town Sound. Welcome to the show, man. As you know, things are going crazy right now, man. Across the United States, man, we got some craziness going on. But as you all know, hip hop don't stop. It don't. It does not stop. So, as we do about this time, we want you guys to know the Sound of Orlando show represents hip hop culture at its finest. It brings all of everyone that's contributed from the entire world together on this show to show not only solidarity with the rest of the world, but our city as well, to let them know that they have a place wherever they cross through I-4 or I-95 or I-75, that they need to make a stop in the city. And like we do about this time, man, we bring on the heavyweights, man. So honored to have this next guest on. He represents some of the most legendary hip-hop anthems ever made. We're talking about, how about some hardcore? We're talking about Annie Up, Cold as Ice. I mean, you name it, bro. These guys have been at it. And I got one of the legendary members in tonight, man. And we're just going to chop it up, all things hip-hop, man. So without further ado, let me bring on my brother representing Brooklyn, Billy Danze from M.O.P. Let's go.
What's up, champ? What's going on, baby? How you
Man,
feeling, my brother?
feeling good, man. I'm not feeling like you though, man. You goosed down and capped up, man.
Oh man, it's freezing where I'm at. It's actually 26 degrees right now,
Oh
brother.
my God, bro. I'm so happy not to have to deal with that right now, bro. Oh,
He said, my condolences.
yeah, bro. Welcome to Orlando, bro. Even if it's virtual, bro. Welcome to Orlando, man.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate the intro too, man. You made me feel like a superhero, champ.
Dude, bro.
I feel more than blessed right now.
You know, as a DJ, your records were so important, you know, in the stash. I mean, you guys were able to kind of cross even borough lines. I mean, yeah, Brooklyn, of course, but
That's right.
you guys made it sound like the entire city of New York. Just, I mean, it was just great energy, great vibrations, man, and and it's amazing how some things never die. You know, you could play that record, any of them, and
Right.
you still get the same feeling that you did when you first heard them.
Right.
And that's kudos to the energy, the chemistry that you guys have been able to put together over the years. But let's take it back before we get into what's going on right now and some of the legendary stuff you've done. Let's give an idea to my peoples in the city of how you were brought to hip hop. What is your story? How were you brought to this beautiful thing called hip hop? And what was that moment that you knew, okay, I could do this? Talk about that.
Well, me being brought to hip hop happened way before that moment that I felt like I could do it. It's, you know what? I'm going to say it, but it's nothing that hasn't been said before. It's everybody's story.
Right.
Hip hop was something that was mesmerizing to us. It was new, it was fresh, it was ours. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't manufactured nowhere else but in the middle of the street. It
Right.
just so happened it happened in New York. It could have happened in Orlando. It could have happened in California. It could have happened anywhere. But
Right.
it came from us, from our people, and it happened in the middle of the street. And just the fact that we were having fun with it,
Right.
it was just some fun, some form of fun that we had. That was, our era is a little bit different. Or when hip hop happened, it was much different. There was no PlayStation 5s. There were no,
Right.
there was none of that stuff to distract us. There was no cell phones. Um, so for our people to create something that was, this is the only product or form of business that was created by us and aimed directly at us, for
Right.
us. You know
Right.
what I mean? So I was drawn in just like everybody else, whether it been the sound, the breakdancing, the graffiti, whatever it is. We all was drawn in the same way. Um, Going through life, listening to music, I never felt like this is something that I could do professionally, because the strange thing about hip hop and that time before I got in was that you just never knew how much you had in common with the actual artists.
Right.
Um, I didn't know Big Daddy Kane was from right across town. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I had no clue on that, and it didn't even matter to me. I know, the songs that KRS-One was making. He made a song called "The Bridge Is Over" and South Bronx and all of this stuff. I didn't care where he was from. It was that sound that brought me in. So, and they were larger than life to us. So it was something that I never thought that I would be able to do, up until the point of me actually going into the studio for the very first time and creating the very first M.O.P. record, or yeah, the very first record that M.O.P. created, which was the very first record that was presented to the world from M.O.P., which is How About Some Hardcore. At that moment, I figured out, I can do this too. I didn't know I was going to do it on a major scale and travel the world 5 times, um, you know, financially be able to secure myself and take care of the family. I had no clue on that, but I knew that I had this skill, like, or maybe not like Rakim, but I had some sort of skill,
Right. Right. Right.
that kind of led me to this. So, yeah, just that very first studio session is what pulled me in and said, you know what, you can do this as well. And I'm
Um,
happy about it, brother.
talk about growing up in Brooklyn, and the vibes that were going on as you were coming to your place in hip hop, and what was that environment like for you growing up in that era while you were looking at hip hop in a way? Give people an idea of how that was like and what
Right.
that looked.
Well, truth be told, like, we're from Brownsville, Brooklyn, which there's I don't want anybody from any other areas to be, get offended by this, but there's a Brownsville, Brooklyn everywhere.
Right.
Um, so the music was something that created our energy and our fun, but the everyday life was a struggle for us. Um, I just wrote a record about this, about how hard it was to make it through the day, just
Right.
make it through the day, while trying to figure out a way out, um, and get a meal at the same time. You know what I'm saying? When I say a meal, I don't mean $1 million. I mean a meal, something to eat for the day.
Right.
Um, a lot of a lot of a lot of violence, um, a lot of hardship, a lot of pain, a ton of fun times though too. We were
Right.
able to adapt. We adapt to where we were, and we were able to make the best out of what we had.
Right.
Um, but it was really, really rough, and this is why being an actual solidified artist that actually made it was a dream that was so far away. You didn't even waste time dreaming on it. You just tried to make it through the day, and hopefully the next day would be better. So I'm from that, pretty much that kind of town, sort of. If I'm in Miami in the Park and Beans, or I'm in Louisiana in Magnolia, or you know what I'm saying, or out in Compton, it's the same deal everywhere you go, sadly, but it's the truth. You know what I mean?
Right. Shout out to the pork and beans. My man said the pork and bean
Right,
pancakes.
right. Oh, I know
Yo,
what's up.
let's go. Um,
Mhm.
amazing because I think that doesn't get discussed enough. Just the idea that a lot of our heroes, a lot of our legends, we see the finished product and we see the things that they're able to produce, but we don't always talk about what they had to go through during the production of it.
Right.
And the idea of not, to your point, not knowing whether you can have a chance. You
Hmm.
know, you're trying to worry about eating, and at the same time make a record to touch the entire world. Like
Right.
that's a crazy concept that sometimes doesn't show the courage, the will, the strength, of
That's
the
right.
people that they insist, like we're gonna do this regardless to the
Hmm.
whole world burning down around us. We're gonna do this.
Right.
Uh,
It's like you said, bro. They see the finished project, the finished product, right? They don't understand what it actually took to get this content. You
right,
know what I mean? They don't understand that, man. And I don't wish, even though I wouldn't take anything back or change how I grew up because it made me into the man that I am today. But I don't really wish that on anyone. You know what
right,
I mean? Like children shouldn't have to grow up the way we grew up. I
right,
don't wish that on anyone, not even my worst enemy. I don't want your family in a bad position or in that position that my family was in or the people around me. I don't
right,
want that. And then nowadays we're much smarter, right? Like look at the young kids that's making music now, man. They making money, bro. They, you know what I'm saying, from this thing of ours. You know what I'm saying?
right,
They
right,
making money. I say this a lot too, and I can't say it enough, but if you take all the major tech companies, all the sports franchises, all the businesses around collectively, they haven't been able to secure as many homes in the urban community as hip hop.
right,
Um, so I'm happy about the mindset of our people now as far as it goes, as far as winning.
right,
Still some things we need to work on with, trying to hold each other down and with this hate thing that goes on. But
right,
I love the space that my people are heading into right now,
right.
uh, due to this thing of ours called hip hop.
Man, awesome, awesome, awesome stuff right there, bro. Um, talk about, like you said, you dropped that first record. What was that like for you, as not only as an artist, because that story is told a lot, but what about as a human being? Given where you came from, and you see, not only, and this was during the days where there was vinyl, so you see your name on some vinyl.
Yeah.
Or shout out to
Hmm.
Beach Street in Brooklyn. I mean, I can
Hmm.
Beach Street in the Bronx was my spot, but I did like Beach Street in Brooklyn.
Hmm.
What was that like? Um, having your name on a record, given all the odds, given where you came from, and finally seeing that, brought to light, to see it.
It was. I mean, it was obviously. I wouldn't say. Um, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, I did something other than the normal. You know what I mean? And it could be big because my name is on records like my favorite artists or a
Right,
Michael Jackson or Whitney Houston. Like, wow, I can't believe this. Um,
right,
it didn't really hit me until later on because what people don't know is like we put our first song out and we had one of the biggest records in the country.
right,
Um, but you know the way artists make money or the way everything is kind of set up is like it comes in chunks, every couple of months or every quarter or something like that. So with
Right.
one of the biggest records in the country, we hadn't really even made no money. So mentally, we were kind of still where we were.
Right.
Um, but it was just the thought of, I mean, it was kind of hard to think we're going to be great in 2 months because 2 months was so far away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you got people in these urban communities or wherever you're from looking at you like Franks and hamburgers. You know what I mean? Everybody looking at you like you made it, and you like, no, I haven't. I'm still trying.
Right.
I'm still trying to get where I gotta go. So
Right.
not until checks started rolling in, paid shows and all of that stuff started rolling in, was there like any kind of relief. But then there was still trouble because we were fresh out of the street. And when I mean
Right.
trouble, I don't mean like, ridiculous amounts of violence or old beef coming back. It's just like everything was fresh and it was new. So whatever money we was getting, we were just kind of blowing it, doing the wrong things with it because, it's still fresh. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, but the thought of potentially making something of yourself when you come from where we come from was just so far away, bro. And I don't know if I ever thought of this like this, but this could have came and went really quick. I'm grateful, bro, that I'm still here and I'm still able to do it. And I have a fan base around the world that's helped me provide for my family and pay those tuitions and, you know what I mean, make sure the house and everything is good. So I'm still
Right.
here, brother. You
And
know what
I
I'm saying?
and I love what you just said. It could have been gone real quick, and there was a few kind of reinventions of you guys, throughout the journey. Whereas that original stuff came out, you know, and then you had this next surge that was completely amazing I mean, mind you, I'm skipping over Cold as Ice, which is one of my favorite records. You still there, brother?
Yeah, I'm here, champ. I'm here.
Yeah, the video kind of went out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, video went out.
Boom.
Boom. Yeah.
I'm,
So, you know, you did that, and then Annie Up. Talk about that joint and what that was like in New York, and give us the year that dropped, and what that was like in the city during that time.
you know what? And I gotta, you know what? I'm gonna be. So I like to have these conversations, bro. Um, Now I've realized I've always been 100. You know what I mean? I've always been the same dude. I've always told the truth. But now I
Right.
can honestly say I have to be 100% honest and say I was drunk, bro. I don't remember everything. I was drunk, bro. I don't remember everything, but I do remember um, while creating Warriors, the album that Annie Up is on, we
Right.
had a little bit of label friction. So we were halfway through the album, I believe, or probably not even halfway through the album. We stopped the album, created an EP called "Handle Your Business" to turn up the buzz, and then we came back with "Annie Up," which was a great move on the part of my brother Lazy Lace. Um, but when we put this record out, and I'm more of a the way, and people think this is weird, right? Like I'm more of an R&B dude. Like I like to listen to R&B music. So
Right.
I don't like to really listen to all wow music all the time. So when
Right. Right.
people hear
Right.
that from me, it's like, what do you mean? That doesn't make sense. But so
Right.
putting Annie Up together for me, I was not 100% sold on it because making records at that velocity, that high energy, and great lyrics and great hooks was nothing new for me at that time.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm always going back, going, well, they didn't accept the first 3, 4 albums like it wasn't amazing. Who am I to say they're going to accept this one? Why am I going to get so excited about it? Annie Up came out, I think, toward the end of '99. Uh, no, I think, maybe toward the end of '99. Well, just whenever the album came out in 2000. So I would
Right.
say toward the end of '99 or the beginning of 2000 when Annie Up, the actual single came out. And dude, not just the city, but it's like the entire country went nuts.
Right,
And
man.
and then we were able to watch it bleed overseas. Like it was so big overseas, and this was following uh, the the release of Cold as Ice, which was produced by Lil Fame. I don't think my brother get enough credit for his production. But when we
Amazing record.
yeah,
Amazing record.
when we went overseas, bro, to tour that album, like we were like gods. When I say God, I'm talking about they had us in every newspaper for almost every little thing that we did on the stage. Um, I remember getting sick in I had like a little cold or something, and in London somewhere. Dude, they all of my boys, we all got together. Everybody, we got to get you some soup. So everybody threw their own little ingredient in it. Rocco had an ingredient, put that in it. Flip had this, Fame had this, Lay's like, yo, put this in it. This is what they're all telling the chef. And M.O.P was so big there that they made this soup for me that was the ingredients was given to the chef by all of my people. They actually put it on the menu for sale at this restaurant and called it M.O.P. First Family Traditional Soup and had it on the menu for 10 years.
Wow.
Um, so, and this is all from the impact of how big Annie Up was. Meanwhile, in the States, it was the most stolen record out of Tower Records in the history of stolen records.
Wow.
No, I mean the impact was amazing. And you know what? Right now, people may say, people that's not in my position or don't know me or my family or whatever will say, well, it calmed down and calmed down. I don't know if you could say that it calmed down and I'm supposed to take that as an insult because I'm still able to tour from this record and still receiving residuals from this record 21 years later. And the only thing stopped me from touring last year was Corona. It basically stopped us in the middle of a world tour, which would have been our fifth time around the world, all from this
Wow.
record. So the impact was amazing, champ.
Wow, brother. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like you said, the energy on that record is probably second to none to maybe Welcome to the Terror Dome. Just the energy that has
Mm-hmm.
the noise that's in that record. The everyone just kind of had that frequency that you can't listen to that record and be sitting down. Like you got to get up. Like that's the
Right.
revolution music right there, brother. You
Right.
know,
That's
and
right. That's right.
so
That's right.
what was it like working with DJ Premier?
Oh, that's amazing. I love when this question come up because I get to tell one of the highlights of my career.
Right, right, man. Premier, Premier.
Premier. Yo, dude, he is exactly how we see him. Like he's a god. Um, and people, and then there's that side of him where he's just himself, right? Because he's always
Right,
himself. But we look at him as a god. He's such a humble dude, bro.
right,
Um, where it's almost like it's weird if you're a fan or a huge fan. You know how it is. You're a huge fan of somebody, you realize that they're human. Like, which is
right, right,
crazy. Well, I love it because he's somebody that I can go to and talk to about things. He's helped me on many different occasions outside of music and in music. He took me on my first world tour um, and unselfishly shared his stage with me. He didn't have to.
right.
Um, Taught me a lot of things about the business and still teaching me things.
Wow.
Um, and he's one of them guys that you could sit there and learn from, but he's so passionate and so genuine with the people that he care about and just people, period, that you don't have to sit there and watch him and learn from him. He will actually give you the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
He'll give you the game, and that's what I love about him. He's just a genuine dude, man. Like this is a guy that Premier, this is DJ Premier. He'll show up at my house to pick me up to go to the studio to work on Warriors or you know what I'm saying or
Right.
whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's DJ Premier. So I think there's no words um, to describe how what it's like working with him because it's like, dude, you're in the room with the greatest, and he's treating you like not just a cousin, but his favorite cousin that he
Right.
hasn't seen in a while, and you guys still gonna make the magic that you went in there to make. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, I mean, the guy's special, man. I mean, he's partially responsible for the success of M.O.P, for Jay-Z, Nas, Biggie.
Right.
Um, he's so, dude, the man is so amazing. He made it cool for Christina Aguilera to get love in the projects. You know what I'm saying? Like, the
Right.
dude's amazing, man. And we can't
Right.
front on him. And I can personally say that I can call him anytime, and he has never turned his back on me. And what I really love about him is he's 100% real. He will actually tell you, I can't do that. I don't like that. I love that, or try again.
Right. And
You know
you
what I
know
mean?
what you said is so amazing, and you know, hip hop in general sometimes has so many assumptions attached to it. Like
Mm-hmm.
people assume things based
Mm-hmm.
on the images that are put out. When you talk about Premier and your friendship with Premier, that's the one time where my assumption is right. Like he looks, I think he's viewed as a god
Mm-hmm.
because and like Rakim and like the other greats, they love hip hop like you do.
That's right.
And you know, when you're talking with them, you're going to be reciprocated the same amount of light, if not more, in
Mm-hmm.
return. And to your point, you're living two lives. One
Mm-hmm.
as like, an adult uh, listening to that information, and then one as a little kid because hip
Yeah.
hop does that to people. It makes you
Yeah.
feel like a little kid
Yeah.
all over
Yeah.
again. It's
Mm-hmm.
the fountain of youth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you have that hip hop energy, you feel like anything is possible. You
Right.
know,
That's right.
and that's what's amazing about your story with Premier because that completely and totally makes sense about that
Mm-hmm.
relationship.
That's my
My
guy.
man DJ Sandman, shout out to Sandman representing Hillsboro, Tampa. He says, "How did that remix come together?" Of obviously Annie Up.
That's crazy. You know what, bro? Here's I've told this story a few times, but here's a part of the story that I never told. We were, I don't want to say auditioning, but we were getting people to jump on this record. We decided we are gonna do a remix. Buster was obviously already in mind. Um, Remy Ma, and I just said this to her a couple weeks ago, how she muscled her way on the record. But I love the fact that she killed it because I didn't even know she was on the record. I walked in the studio and I heard her voice, and it was nuts. Um,
Wow.
we had Prodigy, God bless him, turned in a verse, and Jay-Z was supposed to be on the record. Um,
Wow.
we were waiting for Jay's verse. Prodigy and Jay had an issue at the time. So Prodigy kind of took a stab at Jay on the song. So we pulled his verse because we didn't want no kind of issues on our record. You know what I mean? We're
Right.
friends with both of them, so we didn't want to be involved with that.
Right.
So we just turned around, called Jay, yo, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the verse or whatever. Um,
Right.
Prior to that, I did 4 or 5 records with Jay anyway. I mean, everybody knows that.
Right.
Then here's a part that I've never told this story, and I feel so bad because I'm not even dressing it up here, bro. I'm in my kitchen last night cooking, talking to my son, and we start talking about Annie Up. No, we weren't. We were talking about something else. We were talking about Master P and Romeo and his family, the Percy
Right.
family, and it slipped my mind. No, it didn't. I just never mentioned it. that C Murder was the first person to do a verse for Annie Up remix.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, C
What?
Murder.
Okay,
Yep.
hold on. He just dropped some breaking news
Yeah.
on the show. You hear that, Orlando? Hold up. Breaking news.
Breaking news never stops.
Turn this motherfucking sound up, man. Blast this is turn the whole this up.
Breaking news. Can you repeat that, my friend?
The very first verse, or the very first artist that was going to feature on Annie Up remix was C Murder.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy, bro. Because C Murder used to call the crib a lot. You know, when he first got into, even before he got into his jam, but when he got into the jam, he used to call the crib a lot. And obviously, music just went out of my head, so I would just kick it with him. But all of these years, and I feel crazy about that because I never even mentioned it. Not that it went out of my head. And salute to my brother C Murder. Um, but yeah, bro, like I remember we hung out for like 2 or 3 days in New York. And he came to the studio. We was all in there. I'm talking about hitting that Henny heavy. And we just I'm talking about we stayed in the studio all night just rocking. Just
Right.
rocking, bro. And I remember, I remember he was the first person to do a verse for Annie Up. And that's crazy because I'm going to remind Fame tonight. And I'll also talk to Lays. I remember him. All of us was there. Me, Lays, Fame, Tev, Flip, Fox, the whole M.O.P. team was there. And we're just hanging out with C Murder. I want to say, I don't know if he had nobody with him, but he was comfortable. He with us anyway, so we got him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think he may have had one person with him. If not, it was just him by himself, and we kind of toured New York together and ended up in the studio after like 2 days of hanging. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So great moment in hip hop. A great story that has never been told, but I will make sure, and I promise I'll make sure I'll get that out there. And I know you will. Your people are paying attention. But I'm going to keep mentioning that because it's something that no one knew.
Shout out to New Orleans. Shout out to that whole No Limit.
That's right.
Conglomerate. That's an amazing story. Now, you've been actively over the past few years doing solo stuff, and you got this new project out, called the Billy Danze Project. Talk about what the mindset going into that, and what is your kind of like hope that people get from this particular set that they didn't get as the M.O.P.
Right.
Going into 2021.
Right. All right. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clear it up. So the Billy Danze Project is an actual ongoing project. I'm gonna pull back a little bit to March 2019. I released the first of the solo releases. It was called the Six Pack, which is basically my version of a single, but it's a 6-part single. And it's the Six Pack, and that's from the Billy Danze Project. Later on in 2019, in October, I released what is my version of my second single, and that was called The Baker's Dozen. Still a single for me, but a 13-part single. So 13 records on that. And now this release is called The Listening Session. Still a single for me, but 12-part single. So in all, I've released 31 songs in a matter of less than a year and a half. All just a part of the Billy Danze Project, which is going to be the actual solo album, which has not came yet. So it's more of a build. And then I'm not trying to prove anything, but I'm just giving people different sides of me from what they don't know of me as an artist. With this particular release, It's called the listening session, so it's designed for you to listen.
Right.
So I and it's basically that. Like the beats, before I wrote to those beats made me listen, and they made me create lyrics in a pattern that would make the audience want to listen. So this is why we titled it the listening session. Um, on this, and it's entirely produced by my partner from Switzerland. His name is Too Busy. Great producer. Um, on this release, we have I got features with Method Man, Fame, of course, DJ Premier on doing vocals, Havoc of Mob Deep, Daz Dillinger of Dog Pound, my son La Boogie, um, and Cormega. So
Wow. Shout out to Core Mega.
yeah,
Queens. Let's go.
yeah. So we got a lot of great records on here. If you guys haven't picked it up, it's on all platforms right now, all streaming platforms. Any you can download it anywhere. Um, we just put out a video for a record. Um, okay, so we got Cyrus. We got a video for Cyrus. We got a video for Don't Believe Ya. And we just put another video out maybe a week ago called Southern Man, which is incredible, all shot by my guy, Hitman, the director.
Yeah.
So I got my own team right now, and we're just moving forward. I got my own producers, I got my own video guys, and I got my own artists, and we're all just working towards one goal to keep people excited about what we have going on and what we have to come. You know what I mean?
And that's that. And shouts out to that, man, because for a lot of artists, it's difficult to kind of go on and do stuff outside of what they're used to,
Mm-hmm.
and to create a lane for yourself. Like you said, you've been doing it for a few years. Um, it also widens the sound of what you've already been doing, and it
Exactly.
allows you to tell your story in a more personalized way.
My brother, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to take this clip from this interview of you saying that, and I'm not going to explain to anybody anymore. I'm just going to send them the clip of you saying that. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? There's actually, I'm looking at some of the comments. I looked at a comment yesterday, and some dude was like, yeah, it's cool, but you know what? It ain't that M.O.P. sound. It ain't blah, blah, blah. It's not, and I'm sorry to be, and I don't mean it in a mean way, but it's not supposed to be, dumbass. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, I can't compete with M.O.P. I wouldn't try to compete with M.O.P. But there's no way you can tell me I'm not M.O.P. because I'm 100% M.O.P. Without me, there's
Right.
no M.O.P. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But me doing solo records, and by the way, they're not solo, just because I'm the only one on the record. If Fame doesn't approve, if Lays, Fox, Flip, Tef do not approve, the world would not get those records.
Right.
I still have people to you know what I mean? I got standards. My people got standards. And there's no
Right.
way I can put a record out without Fame's approval. You know what
Look,
I mean?
we
So
all love Wu-Tang,
right,
but
right,
we love just as much having that Raekwon album.
right,
We
exactly.
we love just as much having that Ghostface album.
Right.
Like these things are important not only for the continuity of the group, which a lot of people don't realize. If you can't grow, and I think this goes beyond music. If
Jesus
you
Christ,
can't
you're the
grow,
best, bro. You're the
then
best,
you
bro.
can't offer anything to your mate.
That's right. And you know how I I look at it as, if you're a fan, don't you want me to win? Do
Right.
you want me to be backed into this corner where I can't grow? I can't give you more? See,
Right.
because I'm not the same person that I was when I put out How About Some Hardcore. I'm not the same person that I was when I put out Annie Up. Like, if you say, yo, I'm a diehard M.O.P. fan, you guys are the greatest, and it kills me when they go, underrated. Underrated? Dude, I'm underrated possibly because you won't let me grow.
Right.
Like if you're a super fan, you're a fan of mine. Like I don't even call fans anymore. I really call them family because we really been together for a long time. You should want to see me grow. You should be okay with partially being responsible for me taking care of my children. You know what I
Right.
mean? Don't and that's the problem with some some of the some artist fan base, right? Like they're too connected and going, you know, we I just need you to do this just like this.
Right.
Never mind if you grow, never mind if you're able to take care of yourself. I'm only gonna buy one record, by the way. And if that breaks, I'm gonna go get a copy from somewhere else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
dude, you're not gonna take care of all of my bills, all of my needs. I am now in the headspace where I realize this is a business. I gotta
Right.
grow, bro. And trust me, what I gave you before, I will give you. But how
Right.
about I just move this around? And there's another thing where maybe about a year ago, there was a dude, I don't know if it was a guy or female, younger or older, but I looked at his comment. It's like I took a screenshot of everything, bro. And I would
Right.
read it from time to time on planes going places. And this kid was like, Billy was never really that good. Uh, you know, he can't really rap and yeah, boom, boom, boom. So he is, whoever that person is partially responsible for me creating this listening session. Because
Right.
I need him to hear me. You know what I mean? So I did this for you, buddy, whoever you are. And I appreciate it because I'm getting a great response from it. Not just from my fans, but from my peers. You
Right,
know what I
man.
mean? So
Hip hop is about growth.
that's right.
We live in such a kind of quick world where everything has to be kind of self gratification and keep it the same way, live it in this box. And everything you've described to me sounds like you're the quintessential artist that believes in I'm not done yet.
Right, I don't know. I'm
What
definitely
you
not done.
heard is the beginning.
Right.
That's not the ending of the movie.
And how could I be done? You guys didn't let me do anything but one thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How could I be done? I got
Right.
so much more, so many other things to do.
It takes courage. Let's not throw that under the bus. It does take courage because most people don't like leaving the nest in that way. If they're getting something the same way, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But what's really behind that ideology at the end of the day is that's how a lot of things die. Because
yo, bro, dude, you're taking the words out of my head. I swear to you, because if you if you force me to stay one way, then my sound fades out and I gotta go away. And
it's
you know how you are as this super fan.
right.
You still go, I want to hear this, I want to hear this, and then I can't move no further, right? And then as this whole hip hop thing, this is the only genre of music where you go, it's too old. I don't want to hear all right. But you can go to a Bruce Springsteen concert. You can go to a Billy Joel concert, and there's literally, when I say generations, the grandmother, her kid's wife, their grandkids. So from 14 to 75 are in the audience partying together. And they're still getting $2 million a night at the show because they can sell out the Garden. Right? So you got a problem with me not keeping up with the times, but stretching my lungs.
Right.
What's wrong, man? Are you my fan or not?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But here's another thing that, and this is just my theory, because we're in unprecedented times, and in my idea right now, there is no rules. But people tend to objectify the image, right? Because they don't hear the story behind it. A lot of these places where people go to talk is all pretty much product placement. They're not talking about themselves as human beings. They're talking about them as a product. So, it's just like Coke saying, we're going to do a Coke Classic, right? Like that didn't work. People wanted Coke, right? But now there's Coke Zero. Everybody accepts it. Right? So it's when you
My brother, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Hold on, champ. I think we got back to that choppy sound again.
Okay.
I think you know what? And let me plug the phone up just in case it's me. And I'll just connect it to the vehicle right fast.
Yo.
Check. 1, 2.
There you go, champ. There you go. We back.
But yeah, all I was gonna say is that I think now we're in a time where if people could just hear your point of view without the product placement, humanize the artist in a way so that they, like you said about Premier, he's just like us, and you didn't even know it.
He's human.
He's human, right? Then you can understand the change when a person is saying, "Oh, man, you must ain't heard him. This is where he was headed anyway, because he said he changed his mind on a lot of things." That gives him now a perspective that is human and not as a product, right? Like KFC prides itself of the original recipe. It's never changed. Well, that's not a human. Human beings change the recipe, and so
exactly.
for a lot of this hip hop stuff, like you said, when we were growing up, it was personal. It was kind of like you knew, there was a story behind it. Like, yeah, what I'm saying? Special Ed, he went to Erasmus. He's from Brooklyn. I get why he sounds the way he sounds. Shout out to Special Ed. He's going to be on the Soul Show. But, everyone has this kind of story, and a lot of times we put the product over the story. And the story is actually the most important, because if we are to allow our fans to grow with us, they have to know more than the product. They have to know who you are and why you're growing, so that they can grow. It's kind of like what you're saying, alluding to, is like you're growing, but your fans won't grow with you. So they're stunting your growth.
They're not. They don't dig that deep, because they expect me 24 hours a day to, like, my conversation is not the way that I did my vocals on Annie Up. Like, I don't talk that loud and screaming at people just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, my conversation is not like that. And to see, and it's just very few people, because I still make sure I make records the way that I like to hear them, which is the same way I did it from the beginning. Just a little bit of a different topics, different flows, just more well-rounded music as coming from me as a solo artist. My view, with the approval of my team, of course. And here's another thing too. Like, I don't want people to think like I'm out doing it for money, right? First of all, there's no money in the music industry. There's no real money there. And I'm doing it because I'm in a space right now to where I'm having fun. There's nothing else to it. You know what I mean? You either enjoy the music or you don't. You know what I mean? If you want to hear me do Annie Up, dude, I suggest you just go and listen to Annie Up. You know what I mean? Like, we're both happy. I still get to listen. I still keep the fan, and you still get to hear what you want to hear. That's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make it very simple, champ. You did.
Man, amazing conversation, man. Like I said, part of the mantra of this show is our city, our story, our sound. And I think you can't have the sound without having the story, and you literally have put the story into what the sound is. I think if someone was listening right now to the show and they heard this new project listening sessions and heard it after listening to this conversation, they would have plenty better perspective to where you're coming from and why that sounds the way that sounds, because that sound is supposed to sound that way,
right,
based on who you are as a person right now.
That's right.
You know, and this is what keeps us young and fresh, man. You cannot keep a person the same in the same pot forever and think their roots ain't gonna break through that pot. They ain't gonna break through that pot, man. It's just gonna break. You know.
My brother, I appreciate that, man. For real.
Yeah, man. You already know, bro. I mean, like I said, it's awesome. You know, part of the God conversation is just realizing that the God that you thought was so big is actually just like you. And that mind blowing. You know, when you're able to connect with people in a real way without all the fluff, without all the bullshit. I do want to get to one of my favorite parts of the show, because you seem like, you know, like you said, you listen to R&B, but I know you got some favorites. So let's go into top 5 dead or alive MCs. And it's your list. Doesn't have to be anybody's list. It's your list. We're not talking about it gotta be Biggie, Nas, all of it. It's your list.
Nah, well, you know what? As much as I love those guys, they're not in my top 5. And not just because they're my peers, but
that's what I'm talking about, bro.
And I love Nas. I love Jay. I love Big. God bless them. I think they were and still are incredible artists. But my top 5 are the people that made. And this is how I picked my top 5. These are people that, in my opinion, made at least 4 songs that I wish I made.
Wow.
Scarface.
Can't
G-Rap.
go wrong there.
Rakim.
What'd you say? What was the
Scarface?
before
G-Rap.
Scarface, Rakim, G-Rap.
Yeah. Fame. And
Fame.
Tell you why. And people may say, "Oh, that's unfair for you to say Fame." Yo, Fame is the most on-beat person I've ever heard in my life. He's never off-beat. Listen to from the very first M.O.P. record to any record that he may have went to the studio last night. Ask him to sing you that record. He is never off-beat. Punchlines are dope, and he inspires the hell out of me. So when I go to write records, especially if I'm in a room with him, anytime I'm in a room with Fame, my verse gonna be fire. Cause I feel like I gotta make him proud of me. You know what I'm saying? Because of what he does.
Shout out to Fame.
5th, that's right. And number 5, it's not gonna be a shocker. I mean, because of the people that I've already mentioned, people may go, okay, I know he's going to say this person, but no. I'm going to say Sheik Luch from the Locks.
Wow.
And I tell you
Shout
what's
out to
going
Sheik Luch.
See, I didn't have to tell you about G-Rap. Right. See, I didn't have to tell you about G-Rap, Rakim, or Scarface, because we already know that.
Right.
But Sheik Luch consistently, from the beginning of the Locks' career, has been absolutely amazing. And the way that he handles himself in that booth, it's like he's sharp, man. And he's always been sharp, even from the Benjamins. Sharp. And he's almost like he got so much confidence that if you didn't know any better, it could be like just a little slight smidget of cockiness, but it's not. He just understands in a friendly competition way what he was up against, meaning the artists around him, and even his brothers. Because if you fucking with Jadakiss, your game, you got to be on your A game.
Right.
You fucking with Styles P, you got to be on your A game. So shout out to Sheik Luch. Sheik Luch is very. Let me tell you something. Here's a story I never told either. Sheik Luch sent me a song, and I'm going to be 100% honest on it. Sheik Luch did a verse for me maybe 2 years ago. Bro, the verse is so fire. It was so fire that I'm literally going, what the fuck am I supposed to do after that? Like, he fucking bodied it, bro. Still to the day, I'm still going, he bodied it, yo. You know what I'm saying? So, shout out to my brother Sheik Luch, man. And all the, you know what? Those are my top 5, but all the artists out there from the era before me, from my era, and the era now, I'm inspired by everybody. Whether I like the music, whether I like you lyrically or not, I'm inspired by all of my people. You know, you take the young boys that's out here now. When we were in their age bracket, we were doing something totally different that would have basically secured that we would not be here. You know what I mean? Right. So now my people is moving forward. I don't care if look, and I say this too, and I let people know this. Like, I don't know half the names of the young kids out here because it's all little this and young's that and this is that. But anything pop. I don't even listen to it, but I buy it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who the baby is personally. I can't even say I know his music like that. But I bought his album. Whoever come out with a record tomorrow, buying his album too, because I'm making sure I'm for my people and this thing of ours, and that's how we do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to continue to support this.
Did you just hear that, people? Did you just hear that, people? My man said, this thing of ours, I'm supporting it no matter what. No matter what we doing.
That's right.
I mean, that's big time. That's beautiful. That's love. And we need more of it. I mean, because this thing of ours is so important, not only for our kids, but their kids. You know, this wasn't supposed to be around this long, according to skeptics. And yet we about to hit 50 years on them. You know, this is an amazing.
Getting banked, bro. Getting banked.
Right.
Beautiful, man.
Before we get out of here, because I don't want to hold you all night, I definitely I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you on the state of the world right now and what's Billy Dance's, if not inspiring message, or just take on what is going on. What do you see as we step in this new year? And what if you had one thing that you could say to the people in Orlando or all over the world, what would that be to help these people kind of move and vibrate on the right frequency moving forward?
Right. Well, I should say stand back and stand by, right? But what I'm gonna say is, as you stand back and stand by, look at all the people around you, the people that you had minute issues with. Look at these people look at these people for what they're worth, right? For what they're worth, and understand that violence that we inflict on each other, not only will it come back to bite you, because everybody ain't soft, and our kind can't just get away, because we know gangsters don't live that long, and crime sprees really don't last when it's in the ghetto like that. But think about that man that you want to hurt, and understand that man may be the man that could stand next to you when it's time to fight and save yourself, especially with what we've seen at the Capitol yesterday or 2 days ago. They literally allow these people to walk in to a federal building in Washington, and almost no one got hurt.
Right.
So, and I hate to be political about it, but Donald Trump has been trying his best, and not just Donald Trump, just the government period has been trying their best to incite this race war.
Right.
Really, if this does happen, not only do we gotta fight the other people, but remember they have the police down with them, and they have the military down with them. So if you go across town and kill your brother, that's one less brother that you have to fight with you. So when my brother Myson says "King stop killing kings," it's not so that your status can go away of you being a shooter or a gunner. In my opinion, it's so that you'll have somebody to help you out when it actually goes down. You know what I mean? So let's take care of ourselves, take care of each other.
He just dropped yet another bomb on his way out. We need each other. We need to be our brother's keeper, man. This is the move in 2021. We need our numbers. Our numbers are important, in case anything pops up, man. So, man, what an amazing legend. What an amazing person. I love your intellect. I love you. I love your perspective on life, man. I know I speak for the city of Orlando, bro. You get love down here, man. Whenever you want to come down here, bro, let us know, man. We gonna come out. We gonna come see you, brother. So
Dope.
M.O.P.
Dope.
Orlando, brother.
Thank
got the
my
connection.
brother. I appreciate you, man.
Now, hey, I do want to holler at you on the other side. Let me just I'm gonna put you in the green room, wrap the show up, and give it up one time for the man, the myth, the legend, Billy Danze of M.O.P. And go cop his new stuff right now. The listening sessions. Let's go. Yes, my brother. Thank you. All right. You know what time it is, man. It is time for us to get on the train up out of here, man. But, I want to thank everybody that was on the check-in tonight. Shouts out to DJ Sandman. Shouts out to Strange. Shouts out to Alfredo, man. Shouts out to Jesse Jazz. Shouts out to everybody that was on the tune in tonight, man. Monday, January 11th, Capricorn season. This is my birthday. And I got our city hero, the Grammy Kid, DJ Nasty, on the show Monday. So make sure you tune in. It is going to be amazing. All right, man. Thank you guys, man. Hope you have a great weekend. We love you, bro. Thanks for supporting the Soul Show. We out of here.
Live on stage, that sound.
Orlando!
So, is they ready? Yes. That sound.